have been waiting. We've been kind of just going through the motions, but we finally made it. The big game. Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's been a hell of a season, hasn't it? Been one hell of a season.
I feel like it went back quick, man. I feel like we waited for months for the NFL season to get here. And boom, 17 weeks of the regular season gone. And now we have the Super Bowl. So I hate to see it go, but it's kind of like a whirlwind now. I'm already looking forward to next season.
Absolutely, man. It's been a great year. Whether it's been Ballers Only, Sosa World, Twitter, doesn't matter. We provided the people with tons of winners, whether it be live or on the timeline. It's been one hell of a year, one hell of a ride, and we finally arrived at the final game. We got the Super Bowl. As mentioned, the Kansas City Chiefs going for a three-peat after defeating the San Francisco 49ers last year. I have to mention that because it's good to overcome trauma. It's very important. Obviously, working on a three-peat, they've been the best team in football for much of the last decade at this point. Patrick Mahomes, 6 straight AFC championships. He is universally the best player on the planet, whether he wins MVP or not, or is in the MVP discussion for you year to year. And on the other side, you have a Nick Sirianni-led Philadelphia Eagles team with their franchise quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Second Super Bowl in 3 seasons. Obviously, a redemption spot after losing 2 years ago in the Super Bowl to the same team. We got a 1.5-point spread. First of all, any thoughts on narratives entering the game?
Narratives,
thoughts, anything that comes to mind when you look at the matchup. I mean, second time in 3 years. Obviously, Kansas City working on a three-peat. Any thoughts, reflections?
Yeah, I think the narrative of the Chiefs needing referees, I think that's kind of trash. One player who I appreciate who spoke out about that was James Cook, the running back from the Bills. We saw the Texans come and pretty much look like pussies after they lost from C.J. Stroud to DeMeco Ryans, Joe Mixon, where there was a little truth in the statements, but I thought they looked soft after you lose to come in with what it takes when you're coming up against them. I didn't like to hear that. James Cook, they fought to the end. He said, the referees don't leave it in their hands. And that's the rules, growing up, playing any type of sport. Your coach will tell you don't leave it in the referee's hands, especially when you get to this, their level. So I think the whole rhetoric of the Chiefs needing the referees is trash. But we saw Brady go through that too. So I think it's just the same thing for Mahomes. We'll be hearing this for the next 8 to 10 years. Other than that, there it is on the Philly side. I really don't have anything as far as narrative-wise. I think they should be thanking God for Saquon Barkley. Without him, they wouldn't be here, I feel like. But that's just cold, hard facts. So, yeah, I don't have none on the Philly side.
For sure. As we know, it's a short line, as expected in the Super Bowl. It's it had some movement, very, very light. You got a 1.5-point spread. Kansas City as the favorite. A money line of a Kansas City, slightly juiced to them at -116, and an over/under of 48.5. Let's just get into the matchup, man. From a Philadelphia side, I'll start with them. Obviously, a little bit of a dog. And just for you, who is your key? What's your key to a Philadelphia win? If Philadelphia is to pull off the upset of beating this Kansas City juggernaut and they're going for their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl, what is your key to a Philadelphia win?
Oh, I think the obvious answer will be Saquon Barkley. But also with that, I'll say they have to, dominate the line of scrimmage. The offensive line will have to dominate the Chiefs' defensive front because the Chiefs have been, I think they're top 2 as far as a rush defense in the league, and it's been like that for a while. We saw the Buffalo Bills have some success running the football, then they went away from it, but I don't think Philly will go away from it. So I think the battle of the trenches is the key for Philly. They have to win that, give Saquon that freedom, because I don't see them winning a game without him having a few of those explosive plays. The only thing is the Chiefs were the 5th best team in the league at stopping explosive runs, whereas Washington was 5th worst. And we saw Saquon first carry of the game went 60-plus yards. So this is a completely different defense that he'll be seeing, and I think that's the key. Saquon and then the trenches for Philadelphia.
For sure. For me, the key to this Philadelphia win is to get ahead and get ahead early. We've seen Patrick Mahomes get behind in Super Bowls and come back and win, but I think that Philly's defense is built correctly to play really, really well with a lead. And I think that's the number one thing for Philly. I think that's one of their downfalls throughout the season was starting early. They haven't had that problem in the playoffs. Obviously, like you just mentioned, Saquon obviously first carried the game last week. And also, I just think that like for me, that's most important. I think that a fast start against Kansas City is important. And I think that getting ahead helps them a bunch of ways. They can rush unleash the hounds, try to get after Mahomes, and put in a situation where Mahomes kind of like has to, do a little too much. But that's my key. On the Kansas City side, the number one key to a Kansas City win, and obviously the obvious answer would be stop Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's explosive plays in the pass game. One thing I know for a fact, Fangio is not going to blitz. So I think those receivers, they're going to have ample opportunities to make plays, especially explosive ones. And I think that is my biggest key to a KC win, is their execution of the downfield passing game. You saw Stafford had opportunities. His offensive line just couldn't hold up. And that's another issue with Kansas City's O-line, is that you might think that their defensive line might not be able to hold up. I don't see them running the ball extremely well against Philadelphia. I also know that Philadelphia defensively, they want you to nickel and dime. They want you to check it down. They want you to have those progressive short passes down the field, because that's their mentality defensively, is bend, not break.
Yep.
So I think if you get some explosives in the pass game, it completely changes how Philadelphia defends you, and you can put them on their heels a little bit easier. But no team's been able to do that thus far in the playoffs, or really for the most part of the season. So that's my key to a KC win. How about you?
I'm actually gonna go with the key being Patrick Mahomes. But it kind of goes to what you're saying with the Eagles defense. I think that's gonna be the ultimate chess match for me. We know Mahomes has had success against Fangio defenses. I want to see how this one plays out. If you're looking at the Eagles, they give up a lot of easy completions. Me and you spoke on that yesterday. My cap of Jaden Daniels against the Eagles was his completions, because of the how quick he releases the ball. He was second in the NFL in quick release throws. Guess who was number one? Patrick Mahomes. So Mahomes completed 80.8% of quick release throws. Jaden Daniels completed 80%. And while Jaden Daniels had an amazing rookie season, when we're talking about quarterback, now we got Mahomes at the next level of that. So I'm just imagining him against this defense. He threw for 2,100 yards, almost 2,095 on those quick release throws, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but only 6.6 yards per pass attempt. So I think what you were saying was with the Eagles, it won't be any blitzes, but he's going to be able to get his playmakers to football, which will lead me into one of my bets later in the day. Looking at the Philly defense, as far as man coverage, they ran it at the sixth highest rate, against the sixth most dropbacks. 369 dropbacks this season, only a 58% completion percentage. So they fared well against it. They had 9 interceptions. But then I look at Mahomes against man, he did fare well. And against man, he was top 12 in passing touchdowns, completion percentage, and yards. So I think it's going to be a chess match. And when it's a chess match, I can't go against Mahomes and Andy Reid. It's just not in my capping style as far as being a better. So I think Mahomes is the X factor. Can he protect the football? He's turned the ball over the last 2 Super Bowls and still been able to pull it out. And I don't think this one will be any different.
Yeah, I mean, again, you said you can't ever go wrong with either Patrick Mahomes or just believing in him to be the guy. So it's going to be a very, very interesting undertaking. Obviously, for both of these teams, there's been a lot of talk about the defense. The defenses have obviously been extraordinary. You got both teams really, really well built in the trenches on the defensive line. Any players on the defense that you like to make that big play? That big play you saw in the last Super Bowl. It was, I believe, it was Bolton that caused the fumble in the Super Bowl.
Oh
Was
yeah,
it Bolton? Yeah, I think
I don't
it
even remember.
I can't
Actually.
remember. Not yet, because that's how much I hate these guys. But but that big play, that turnover. I mean, last year in the Super Bowl, you saw McCaffrey fumble on the first drive. I mean, it didn't end in points or anything on the other side, but what any player in particular on the defense that you like? I know I like a couple of people to go crazy, but I'll let you go first.
I really don't focus in on defense too much. I would say if I'm looking at the Chiefs side, I think Chris Jones will have a say so in the game. So if I'm looking for someone to make an impact on the Kansas City side, I'll go with Chris Jones. But I think I can go the other way for the trenches in Philadelphia and say Jalen Carter. He's been absolutely insane. So between those two, I know the defensive front; those guys will get a lot of attention. But you got two of the best in the league going head to head on Sunday. So I think both of those guys will make some big plays.
Absolutely. For me on the defense, bro, I think that one guy will make a couple of plays. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, most underrated player in all of football, in my opinion. I think he's a Pro Bowl level safety. I think that people do not realize his value on the field and how good he is at diagnosing what the quarterback is trying to do and disguising what he's trying to do. He's one of the best at it in the league. I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and this is play off a narrative. Obviously, he started his career in New Orleans. He never thought he would leave New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Ended up with Philly, left for Philly for a year, went to Detroit, went back to Philly. I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson will have some say in this game, whether it's him making a big play or him getting beat vertically because Patrick Mahomes read him so good that he gets fooled. So he might make a big play the wrong way, and I would not be surprised if that's the case. On the Chiefs side, McDuffie. How are you going to face off against AJ Brown? Because if you're Spags, you're gonna bring heat. And if you're leaving these guys out on islands, especially against an AJ Brown, who I think gets disrespected because his quarterback doesn't have to throw the ball 40 fucking times a week. If you're gonna leave him on an island one-on-one, I don't give a fuck if it's Trent McDuffie or Darrelle Revis. I'm gonna give the silverback number 11 an opportunity to go get the ball. And I think that is the guy on Cincinnati's defense. Last year in the Super Bowl was lights out, played outrageously good. And it's even bigger this year because there's no Snead. You don't have a second corner that's like that. You have to win your matchup. Trent McDuffie is the most important player for the Kansas City defense in this game because they leave him on an island with AJ. He's gonna get his one-on-ones, and it's gonna come down to him making a play. So those are the two guys that I like, both defensive backs.
You think Hurts will throw a pick?
I think both of them could probably throw one because again, when you see and you know this when Jalen gets to the line, he's gonna read blitz 60% of the time in this game. They're gonna bring heat. They're gonna bring heat. They're gonna run blitz. They're gonna try to and they're also going to do this. They're going to make Saquon run the ball between the tackles.
Facts.
They do not let him get the edge. But see, this is the thing. It's not about letting him because this is the thing with the offensive line. It's so dominant at times that you don't have a choice. They break your will. They force you to get out of the way. So if you're going to run blitz and you're going to bring safeties down and you're going to say, hey, we're going to play man, you're leaving those corners in very, very precarious situations against receivers that know how to beat man coverage. Simple as that. On the Kansas City side, we're going to go to X factors in this football game. X factor. Can't name the quarterback. Can't be the quarterback. A player that can weigh the scales one way or the other for Kansas City in this game based on their performance or their matchup that you think could be something major in this particular game.
Isaiah Pacheco. Can he does the extra break give him time to get back to full health? We've seen his workload be less and less over the last few weeks. But I'm seeing reports from Kansas City beat writers that he's looking back, to his normal self, or closer to it, over the last couple of days leading up into the Super Bowl. So can he give Mahomes a break as far as the passing game, because you don't want to just consistently drop back. And I feel like the Chiefs have gotten away from that. Well, they just simply don't run the football enough. Now I get Kareem Hunt; he's had a solid season, but he's not an Isaiah Pacheco. I think Pacheco can run between the tackles, get those first downs, extend drives to where the whole game. While Mahomes can win the game with just his arm, I don't think that's the way you want to win, especially against this Eagles defense. Now, I know the Eagles have been great against the run, but can he just be better than he has been? His yards prop is at 21.5. I feel like Pacheco needs about him being an X factor. It won't take a lot, but at least 50 or more rushing yards, I think, will be needed for the Chiefs on the ground. Not from Kareem Hunt, though. I want to see it from Pacheco. So I'll say he's the X factor.
All right, for them, I'm gonna just pick the kid whose name starts with an X. Ironically, I'm going with Xavier Worthy. He is a special weapon. I think that when they've gotten Marquise Brown, what they're able to do is they're able to move him around and just play to his strengths a little bit more and dictate and force coverage other ways.
Yeah.
And what that does is when you have a mastermind like an Andy Reid, you have you know how to get players in space. That's the biggest thing. You know how to get players in space, and you know where they like to have the ball or where they like to go as far as running routes. And I think that Xavier Worthy is going to get opportunities vertically. And I also think that there's, situations where they're going to stretch this team horizontally as well, where where they are going to try to get to the edges and not attack the A-B gaps and try to attack the middle of that defensive line. I don't see that being a recipe for success in any way. So, my biggest X factor for Kansas City is going to be one Xavier Worthy. Going to go to the Philadelphia side. X factor player. Everybody will say Dallas Goedert because they've been so god-awful against tight ends. For me, I'm going to go with Devontae Smith.
That was my guy too.
Yeah, I think Smitty's going to get his opportunities. I think obviously if you're gonna put McDuffie on an AJ Brown, you got to do some things, bro. And I think, like I said, AJ get one-on-ones. You don't give a fuck if it's Darrelle Revis on the other side. Like I said, you're going to give him a couple opportunities to go get the ball.
Yep.
So I think Devontae's gotta be active, and I think he will.
Yes. He's one of my bets that I have for the tail end of the show for the community. But I'm aligned with you. I think Devontae is the X factor. Can he break off those explosive plays like he's been doing all season? The Chiefs have been vulnerable to that, which I'll speak on more. So yeah, I was going to go with Devontae too. Of course, a lot of people will say, "Oh, Saquon's the X factor," but nah. I mean, you expect Saquon to do well. You kind of expect AJ Brown to do well too. But if Devontae shows up, and I'm talking about showing up to where between 80 and 100 yards, then I think you putting Kansas City in a tough spot to come out on top.
Facts. I couldn't agree more. Again, we're on the same page. It makes sense too. I mean, it's a matchup that you there's only so many angles you can look at.
Yeah,
there's only so many angles we can look at. The only thing that would not surprise you on the Kansas City side for this particular ball game is if DeAndre Hopkins had 100 fucking yards. It's stuff like that. Because it's an equal opportunity offense when it comes to the receiving core for Kansas City. For Philadelphia, not so much. You know who's getting the ball.
Yep. I was looking at Hopkins. I don't like how his snap share is going down every week. And Hollywood Brown's snap share is going up. So that's why I like Hollywood Brown in this game.
For sure. I mean, for me, we're gonna get into the bets.
Yeah.
But before we get into like the serious bets, right? Because there's always like serious bets. It's like everybody wants to like get talk about they always want to talk about all types of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about a couple of little things like I'll go into. There's like some Swifty specials on the books. And I think there's a couple there's a couple actual cool bets on FanDuel. first and foremost, what color Gatorade will be the Gatorade shower will be used for the Gatorade shower? I'm trying to find odds, but I can't find it right now. I gotta find it.
I saw some odds on MGM. Yellow green is -165.
There we go. That's okay. You have the. See, you came prepared. Yeah. You came prepared. Yeah. Okay. And so, let's read off a couple of those ornate bets. The ones that are just a little weird. For me, I think the Gatorade color will be purple. It will be purple Gatorade.
It was purple last year.
Oh fuck! Why did?
I see a picture of Andy Reid.
You did your research on this shit, man. See, this is my problem.
Yeah.
All right.
So I got the odds for you.
I'm gonna delete that out.
Yeah. It was purple last year.
Okay, so it was purple last year. Okay.
Yeah, the picture I'm seeing with Andy Reid is purple when they're dumping it on him. Yeah, it was purple. Get this. It was purple the last 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not crazy. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What if they do it again? What if they pull the 52 fake
they
out?
went blue two years straight, then purple 2 years straight. But between the blue and 2020, it was orange when they beat y'all. I had to throw that in there. And then before that, it was yellow. It's time bro. That's why orange is the favorite.
Okay.
That's why. It's time for orange or red.
Well, it won't be orange or red. What are your other options? Yellow. We'll go yellow. I'll go yellow.
Yellow and green is -165.
Jesus. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. I think it'll be like, so they both have the same number. What are our wild cards?
Blue plus 800, clear/water plus 1200, no Gatorade bath plus 2500.
Yeah, well, that's definitely not an option.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
It's never been red.
It's never been red?
It's never been red.
Wow.
Orange 5, blue 4, purple 4, clear/water 4, none 4, yellow green 3 over the last few years. I'm not gonna lie, that clear, with it being 4 tied with blue and purple and orange being number 1, I could see it's either gonna be, I would bet on yellow and green, but it's juiced. But I'm not mad at the clear/water. I mean, it's plus 1200.
Okay.
I wasn't even gonna look at this type of stuff, but I just had to be prepared.
What else do you have? What other jokes? Because I have some stuff on here, but it's more like they have like bets on FanDuel based off of like Taylor Swift songs, which are kind of cool, I guess.
How
long will do you have the national anthem? How long will the national anthem be?
Nah, I didn't even look at that. Let me see.
All right. Well, right now on FanDuel, they have some some Taylor Swift specials. And one of them is Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown in the fourth quarter. It's called Anti-Hero. I'm betting that one at plus 152, currently available on FanDuel Sportsbook. I don't see how I can't bet it. I have to bet it.
What is that one?
It is under the Taylor Swift Super Bowl Swiftie specials. Anti-Hero. Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown in the fourth quarter at plus 152. Love it. It's got.
I got a good one. I found some. I got a good one.
All right, what we got?
Kendrick Lamar total songs over or under 10.5. He's got 11 minutes to perform. Or was it 13 minutes? I forgot.
It's probably 12.
I think he could do 11 songs. I think he could do 11 songs.
11?
What
song does he start with? What song does he start with? Do they have the first song he starts with?
Squabble Up.
It's got to be Mad City. It has to be Mad City. And I don't even know the options, but it's got to be Mad City.
Wait, where is it? So I'm only seeing Squabble Up. I don't see odds for nothing else. Squabble Up is plus 380, but it's on FanDuel Canada.
First song, Kendrick Lamar, Super Bowl. All right. So the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl props. First song to be played. This is on Action Network. Mad City plus 900.
That's
Plus
not bad.
900. Available at DraftKings, I believe. This is what it is. Let me share the screen. All right. I found the list, guys. I found the list. Look at this. So these are your odds. Humble, DNA, Not Like Us. You got a full list. This is what I'm going with. Mad City. Mad City.
Man, I can see him starting off with TV off.
With what?
I think
TV
the way
off?
intros, TV off. I think the way it intros and stuff. I think it'd be perfect to set the tone.
I don't think. This is what I thought but I think that and this might be just me. I think Kendrick is such a fucking control freak and obsessed with himself that he would never start that first because the most played part about that song is mustard. It ain't him. I don't know. Maybe I'm
just most of that spotlight of saying it though.
To start the show,
I see it happen. You got to think about it. All the sports, the NFL got a commercial promoting mustard now too.
He signed to Rock Nation, so it makes sense why the track was so.
I could see him screaming mustard and then cutting it off to the next song after that. He probably do it up to that part. But I mean,
celebrities. Here's one: celebrities to appear on stage. Celebrities to appear on stage.
Does he have a song with The Weeknd for him to even be there?
Of course, but they're beefing like a motherfucker, so none of this shit is possible. None of this.
Kendrick is beefing with The Weeknd?
Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm tripping. I'm thinking no, they're not beefing. These are all friends. Now, Baby Keem, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out. Trying to think who he has songs with that's like popping. That's like
Schoolboy Q.
Schoolboy, yeah, but Taylor Swift. I would not be surprised if Taylor Swift is part of the performance.
They got a song together?
Yeah, he's on the remix of one of her tracks.
Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect. She already gonna be there.
Yeah, remember Drake? He got the Taylor song. He got the Taylor feature. Drake diss tracks. He played more than one of them.
Damn it, 2 plus is minus 420.
Yeah. Will Kendrick wear a hoodie? Will Kendrick wear a hoodie? Jesus Christ, man.
I think I would say no. I think he'll have a jacket on. I think he'll come out with a jacket on.
And they can come out there dressed like just regular. He not gonna give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he can. I
think he'll have on like a black jacket or something.
I'm about to pull up the other joints on FanDuel, and we'll just get into what we might like for today. All right, so this is the anti-hero bet. Patrick Mahomes to throw the first interception. I don't have like the regular props, but for some reason, all they have are like these. I don't know if you've been to on FanDuel, but like I got the regular bets when they started, but like now when you go to like passing, or like passing props, it's like this shit. So first quarterback to reach yardage.
Yeah, man doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but yeah, as far as TD props for this one that I like, I guess I could just pull it up on screen.
You got to click on Super Bowl and then click on the game. Yeah, no. Yeah, now click on. No. All
right, here we go. Okay, so obviously we're going with Patrick Mahomes to throw an interception. Why? Because he throws interceptions in Super Bowls. Research. I'm taking Jalen Hurts to throw one too because I think that they're gonna force him to be a guy. All right.
Yep.
As far as longest reception, bro. Listen, you said you like Devontae's.
Yep. Over 20 and a half.
Right. And I like AJ's. I like both of them to get one. And I'm telling you right now, right? This is my thought process right now. Okay. The A.J. Brown one is going to come against man coverage across the middle of the field, vertically. It'll be one of those post routes where and listen, this is just going to be the play. Okay. Safety on one side is going to come down, be single high. He'll beat his man, and he'll beat the safety across the field. The safety will play too high, and you'll see AJ catch one and about 40. He'll get one.
I see the vision.
About 40, something like that. I mean, might be a touchdown. Shit. You know what I mean? We can go to 365, take the longest reception up to 50. I'm telling you right now, it's an A.J. Brown. Yeah. You want to test him one-on-one? Bet. We're going to see. And also, it works perfectly. If he tests McDuffie one-on-one, McDuffie might get one on him. But it'll be further down the field, so it'll be like a punt.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, my thought process with the Devontae Smith one is it's pretty much the same thing. Just looking at what the Chiefs gave up this season as far as explosive passing plays. A lot of times we was taking the explosive runs, but I like I clicked on the wrong thing. My bad. But the explosive passing plays. Oh, I had the number. There we go. So the 20.5. Actually, I first got it at 20 plus, but I'm not mad at the 20.5 regardless. He's over that number in 11 out of 16 games. He's averaging a longest reception of 24.7 yards. He's faced the Chiefs 3 times. He's got a 20-plus yard catch in all 3 games. And he's averaging a longest reception against Kansas City of 41 yards. So he's the one I actually like for a ladder. The Chiefs allowed the 8th most explosive passing plays in the league at 25. And the 8th highest deep throw rate as well at 13%. So I think that's where the Eagles pass game will be, successful. It's the deep ball. So I'm not mad at Smitty or A.J. Brown.
I'm trying to pull up the ladder right now so that the people can get a visual. Player props for the ladder, because I love the ladder as well. Longest reception. All right. And this is obviously one of our favorite markets on Bet365. Yep. And what I love too is it also shows you how clear it also shows you how they treat the Eagles. And I mean that by, we were just talking about how their offense goes through certain. Listen, look at how many options you have.
That's
for the
crazy.
Chiefs. And then you go to the Eagles, it's the same dudes, right? It's like nobody else. We know who's getting the ball. And that's funny because that's what we were talking about. Like, we know who's getting the rock. But if you were to play Devontae up to 40, he's at, I'm not going to log in right, but he's at plus
1,000?
Plus 600 for 40, plus 600. AJ for 40, plus 375. That's outstanding value. Even Goddard for 20 or 30 with the way they get smoked by tight ends. I mean, you won't be opposed, but listen, this plus 375, I'm dabbling. This plus 600, I'm rocking with all these right here. Like you said.
Yep.
And then on this side, this is the guy. Remember, I just said Xavier Worthy. So listen, 30, 40, 50. I like them all. I'm telling you. He's going to get a couple opportunities vertically against guys that are not as fast as him. And let me zoom in a little bit so people can see.
I think Juju's going to get a 20-yarder, and everybody's going to be shocked.
Right. Yeah, that's great value there as well. We got Juju for 20 is plus 270. And I absolutely love that as well because he's going to get opportunities against zone in the back end. You know what Philly's going to do. They not blitzing. They not bringing 6-7. That ain't happening. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. We got to get them off the field on 3rd down. 3rd down is going to be so crucial with that. Other than that, I love this game to go over. I love the over 48.5. The number was 49.5. It dropped. I love that even more. because remember the rule with Patrick Mahomes is if it opens over 50 or 50 plus, it never goes over. But when it opened at 49 and a half, exactly where we wanted. And then it dropped down to 48 and a half. So, yeah, you got that with you have that, and then with the touchdowns, favorite touchdown in this game, I like Goddard for a touchdown. I think in the red zone, that's where you're going to get the opportunities for him. And I think as you get closer to the end zone, the tight end becomes even more valuable for him. For one Saquon Barkley, obviously they're the kings of the tush push. I also wouldn't mind a ticket on two Jalen Hurts touchdowns or two Saquon Barkley touchdowns. It only makes fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just as far as like putting a ticket out there, right? I guess everybody got like an idea of like the plays here. But the two touchdowns for Saquon plus 260, they love it. Saquon or Jalen Hurts for 2+ touchdowns plus 550. Anything else Because I'm sure, like I said, we'll obviously be.
I took a ticket on P round over 7.5 receiving yards. I know he's not your favorite guy to bet on.
Samaj.
Yep. Samaj P round 7.5. Cashed in on it last week against the Bills at the buzzer. He came through. He's the Chiefs' leading receiver as far as the running backs. He's leading them in target share and receiving yards. And he's over this number in 16 out of 19 games this season. He's averaging 17.8 yards per game. So I think he'll help as an extension of the passing game. I'm sorry, an extension of the running game, especially if they struggle to create some traction. So, I like him. I think the number's too low.
Absolutely. But yeah, those are all, we find value. Yeah, like I said, not Saquon for 2 touchdowns at plus 260. I think it's kind of one of those auto bets. If you didn't get it earlier, it's just one of those. And then with the tush push deal and also the thing I love about Jalen is Jalen was fine physically in the last game.
Oh, yeah.
Moving just fine. Ain't no hitching his giddy up. Man was good to go. So, So let's get on to the most important part, bro. The most important part, the one where people are used to get the clips. They always want to get the clips, especially if you're wrong, so they can be like, ha, you were wrong. But then when you're right and you post a video, they're going to say, you full of yourself. So who is going to win Super Bowl 59?
I already said it. The Chiefs. Short spreads. I don't bet against Mahomes and Andy Reid. You don't bet on them off of a bye week. They had 2 weeks to get ready for this game. I think I think they'll be able to limit the explosive plays on the ground because they've done it all season. When's the last time they allowed a 100-yard rusher? I forgot. I forgot how long it's been.
In the playoffs, I think it's 18 consecutive games.
A full season's worth of games. That's insane. And if you put the game on Jalen Hurts' arm, I don't believe that he'll get it done. I think Mahomes gets it done. I think they win 3 straight. They make history. And then the rest of the NFL world will continue to have to pray that something goes wrong in Kansas City.
All right. I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I'm going against Mahomes. Call it tinfoil hat, whatever. Listen, bro, if Patrick Mahomes wins 4 Super Bowls in 6 seasons as a starter after Brady, and this isn't hate, I think he's the best football player I've ever seen. But just for competitive balance, bro. For competitive balance, we can't afford this, brother. We can't afford it to win 3 straight. Like, who the fuck is going to want to watch NFL games next year? For real.
That's a good point.
Like all right. Nah, but no jokes. All jokes aside, I think Philadelphia is the better football team. I think that if they get off to a good start, they should be able to win this game. So I like the Eagles to win the game. I like them to pull it off. It's going to come down to 3 or 4 plays by either quarterback. We all know that. And, yeah, that's where it's at. Before we get up out of here, any thoughts on anything else coming up? It is Super Bowl Sunday. We are about to embark on another new new run for this. I mean, it's just hopefully it's the Eagles, bro. Hopefully. Good God.
Any thoughts? Nah. Closing thoughts. In about a month. What's this? It'll be March. In about a month, Justin Fields is gonna sign a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna get to tell half of the world who thought it was over for him how fucking stupid they are. So save this clip. Number 2, Justin Fields will sign a 2-year deal in Pittsburgh. He's gonna get an offense built around him for the first time in his NFL career. They're gonna make the playoffs next season. I'm starting out the gate just like that.
Well, there you have it. Make sure you guys are following the Daily Bread Network, and make sure you guys are rocking out with us on YouTube, Twitter, Playback. You already know where to find everyone. Ballers Only, Social World Network, and obviously Daily Bread on YouTube. Be blessed, and until next season,
Peace.